Well, as the Russian invasion enters that 18th day, there are concerns growing over the security of food supplies, wheat in particular, because it is a breadbasket of the world. Pretty much 80% of grain comes from the sort of Ukrainian and those Russian regions. So it's causing a huge concern. And on top of all of that, of course, the sort of immediate concern of refugees is still absolutely critical. Absolutely.
So let's discuss these issues. We're joined live by Alan Mandoza. Alan is the Executive Director of the Henry Jackson Society. Good morning, Alan. Thank you for joining us. Help us understand a little bit about this, because this is something we're kind of all getting our heads around, these practical and logistical implications at a time like this.
Well, I think there are, constant practical and logistical, measures that need to be undertaken. It's a war zone at the end of the day. And in reality, all the sides in this discussion, in this conflict, and let's be frank, we are a part of this conflict, even though we're pretending we're not, have to understand what is happening at any given moment on the ground, in the air, in financial markets and beyond. So we're dealing with a very complicated set of circumstances, and it's for us to have to work out how best to react and then act proactively as well.
So how do we best react to these sort of circumstances? Because we're not only talking about, as we said, the humanitarian crisis, which needs immediate looking at, of course, but there is questions about food security, there's questions about energy security, there's questions about the impact that sanctions are having on us back here and across the United States and Europe and everywhere else. I mean, this is bringing up issues which are affecting us every single day.
Yes, absolutely. And I think the key to this is to understand the likely playthrough of some of these measures. So, for example, you mentioned, the humanitarian crisis. Well, we're reacting to that now. The British people have shown they want to react to this in a certain way, and the government has decided to follow. So you can see, how policy changes on that. On the sanctions front, on the financial front, we're fully aware that there'll be some pain attached, obviously, to isolating Russia in this way, particularly on the energy front. But it doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. It just simply means that we have to understand going forwards how policy in that area then impacts on people domestically. And if the government has, for example, levers that it can pull to alleviate some of these extraordinary circumstances that are now upon us, then it probably needs to do that in the coming budget.
OK. Well, how do you feel the British government is doing so far? What would you like them to do differently?
Well, I think the government has been excellent on the international coalition side. I mean, there's no doubt that Boris Johnson has been leading the world, frankly, in the absence of a strong steer from the US President Joe Biden. And Boris has been everywhere when it comes to diplomatic action and in taking those actions. I think when it comes to humanitarian policy, we have lagged behind. That's now changed quite dramatically. I think when it comes, obviously, to the sanctioning of oligarchs section, we've also lagged behind, but we're now showing signs of getting more serious very quickly. So I think in certain areas it's an A star, in certain other areas it might be a C moving to a B, but obviously I think we'll be at A level pretty soon.
Well, let's hope so. Alan Mandoza from the Henry Jackson Society, thanks for your analysis this morning.